All right, IM1 classes. Today we're continuing on with our lessons on how to solve systems using elimination. So far in part one, we learned how to just add the equations together to eliminate one of the variables. One of the conditions that needs to happen for them to eliminate is the coefficients on one of the variables have to match, with one being positive, one being negative. The next part we learned what happens if you have matching coefficients on one of the variables, but they're either both positive, both negative. We learned that you multiply by one of the equations by -1 to get that condition of matching coefficients, one positive, one negative, so things will eliminate. Today, what we're going to look at is what do you do if your numbers don't match. So let's look at this example here. So we have -4x plus 6y is equal to 26, and then 8x minus 8y is equal to -24. You notice if you look at all the coefficients, so we have a -4 and a +8, those don't match. So if we add them together, they're not going to cancel out. And we have a +6 and a -8. Again, they don't match. So if we add them together, nothing cancels out. So what we want to do is change one of the coefficients. So how you change a coefficient is just by multiplying one of the equations, everything by the same number. So you can get the coefficients to match, one positive, one negative. One of the most common questions I get is how can I tell what to multiply by? It takes a little bit of thought at this point. So you need to look at the coefficients. You need to look at the numbers. So right here, it's real easy to get the x's to match, right? So we have a -4x. I can multiply -4 by 2 to get a -8. So these will match, one positive, one negative, so they'll cancel out. This, not so much. There's nothing I can multiply the 6 by to get an 8. There are cases that you might have to multiply both equations to get coefficients to match, but we're just going to look at it where you only have to multiply one equation. So what I'm going to do is multiply this top equation by 2. Again, the reason why I'm doing this is because 2 times -4 is -8x. So now I have that condition where the -8 and +8, when I add the equations, will cancel out. Again, times 6y, so that's plus 12y is equal to 22 times 6 is 52. I'm going to take the bottom equation, line it up underneath, so it's +8x minus 8y is equal to -24. Add them together, -8x and +8x cancel out. 12y plus -8y is +4y. It's equal to 52 plus -24. 52 minus 24 is 28. Now I'm going to solve for y, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And I get y is equal to 7. Again, not quite done yet. We need to substitute this value back into one of the equations. We can either do the top equation or the bottom equation. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do the top one just because there's less negatives. So -4x plus 6y is equal to 26. And then I'm going to substitute the y in there. So it's -4x plus 6 times, wanted that to be blue. So 6 times 7 is equal to 26. 6 times 7 is 42. And actually, before I go any further, let me put in my line of separation here. Finish solving from here. I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides, or subtract 42 from both sides. So I get -4x is equal to 26 minus 42 is -16. Divide by -4, and I get x is equal to a +4. And so as an ordered pair, 4, 7, the x goes first. All right. Next problem, let's do another example. So let's look, negative 5x plus 5y is equal to 0, 15x plus 3y is equal to 0. So for this, real easy, turn this negative 5x into a negative 15x. I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3. All right, when I do that, I get negative 15x plus 3y is equal to 0. And then line up the other equation below it. So it's positive 15x plus 3y is equal to 0. This is a 5y, not a 3y. Actually, this is also a 15y. Oops. Make sure you multiply everything by the 0. Made a mistake there. Anyway, back to the equation now. You add them together. That cancels out. 15y plus 3y is 18y is equal to 0. Finish solving for y. I'm going to divide both sides by 18. I get y, 18, 0 divided by 18 is 0. Now I need to substitute this back in. If you're looking at it, you could probably do the rest of this one in your head, but that's okay. So you get 15x plus 3y. I'm going to use the bottom equation because it's going to be, there's less negatives. So I'm going to put the 0 in for y. So it's 15x plus 3 times y is equal to 0, and y is 0. So 3 times 0 is just 0, so we can ignore that. So you just get 15x is equal to 0. Actually, let me keep forgetting to put this in. Divide by both sides by 15. And you get x is equal to 0. So I know we have talked about one solution or no solutions, that sort of thing, or infinitely many solutions. Some kids think when things equal to 0, that means no solution. That is not true. This is just 0, 0. So if we were to graph those two lines, they would both cross through the origin. That's where they intersect at the point 0, 0. A couple more examples here. So you solve the system using elimination. So we have 3x minus 6y is equal to 18. Negative x minus 3y is equal to 29. So now we have some options here. We can eliminate, we can get this negative x to be a negative 3x real easy by multiplying the bottom by positive 3. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to eliminate the y's because it's easy enough to turn this negative 3y into a positive 6y to eliminate the negative 6y up there. So I'm actually going to multiply the bottom equation by negative 2. So I'll get a positive 2x. Negative 2 times negative 3y is a positive 6y. And then negative 2 times 29 is negative 58. And I'm going to line up this equation above it. You can get 3x minus 6y is equal to 18. Add the equations together. 3x plus 2x is 5x. Negative 6y plus 6y cancels out. 18 minus 58, that comes out to negative 40. Last step, divide both sides by 5. You get x is equal to negative 8. So again, not done yet. We need to substitute into one of the top equation, bottom equation. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use the top equation because, again, there's less negatives. All right, so I'm going to do 3x minus 6y is equal to 18. I'm going to take x equals negative 8, and that's going to go in for the x right here. So it's 3 times negative 8 minus 6y is equal to 18. Now just need to solve for y. 3 times -8 is -24. Minus 6y is equal to 18. Add 24 to both sides. So -24, +24 cancels out. -6y is equal to 42. 18 plus 24 is 42. And then last step, divide both sides by -6. You get y is equal to -7. So as an ordered pair, x is -8, y is -7. Again, just be careful with the negatives as you're working through. And work through one more problem. So here, again, we have some options on this one. I can eliminate the x's by turning this 1x into a -6x, multiply the bottom by -6, or I can eliminate the y's by turning this 1y into a -2y. I think that's what I'm going to do, just because then I'm multiplying by a smaller number. So I'm going to multiply this top equation by -2, and the goal is to get a -2 on the y to cancel out with the +2y here. So when I multiply by -2, I get -12x minus 2y is equal to -6. Line up the other equation underneath it. So then it's x plus 2y is equal to -5. Add the equations together. -12x plus 1x, or just x, that's -11x. -2y plus 2y, that cancels out. -6 plus -5 is -11. Divide both sides by -11. This cancels out. I get x is equal to +1. Now I need to substitute back in. You can use top or bottom. It doesn't matter. I'm looking at it. I know x doesn't have a coefficient, so you might want to do this, but it's actually going to be less work on this one, I believe. So I'm going to actually use the top one this time. And there's less negatives as well. But you can use whatever equation you want. You'll come up with the same answer. Just make sure you put the x in for x. Pay attention where you're putting it in. And you get x times, or 6 times 1 plus y is equal to 3. 6 times 1 is 6 plus y is equal to 3. Now I just need to subtract the 6 to solve for y. So you get, this cancels out. Y is equal to -3. 3 minus 6 is -3. So you get 1 and -3 for your answer here. Yeah, just make sure you're writing in the correct order. Your assignment is on Delta Math. So if you have any questions, email me, and we'll see you guys next time.